Ciao Fabri, welcome back in our podcast.
Ciao guys.
First day of the year, but it's already madness and craziness around Chelsea because the big story of the day is Enzo Maresca leaving the club.
Yes, Happy New Year to our friends here on Men in Blazers, Happy 2026, but get ready because we start the year in a fantastic way in terms of news, because it's plenty of stories, plenty of news, with Crystal Palace signing Brennan Johnson, with West Ham signing Tati Castellanos and Pablo from Gil Vicente, many movements around Europe. Joao Cancelo will leave Al Hilal very soon, so it's going to be plenty of news in terms of players in the next days, but today we have to start with Enzo Maresca. This is a proper bomb delivered over the night, because what I've been telling in the last 24-48 hours is that the tension was growing between Enzo Maresca and Chelsea. The situation was becoming really difficult to handle for the manager and for the club, so it was a really complicated situation on both sides, and so they decided to part ways with immediate effect. Today, 1st of January, it's over between Chelsea and Enzo Maresca. It's a big bomb because obviously we are talking about a manager who won the Club World Cup, who won the Conference League, who brought Champions League football back to Chelsea after some time, and then also 3 semi-finals in 18 months. So a really good job by Enzo Maresca, but Chelsea and Enzo Maresca were not on the same page on several things, and this is the reason why this story ended that early. So it was a big bomb in the last 24 hours, but let me tell you that this story already started to be complicated a few months ago, and so today the official communication, it's over between Maresca and Chelsea.
And this is something you've been telling the last weeks as well here in the podcast, so can you bring us behind the scenes of what happened in the last days?
Yeah, I would say in the last months as well, because in the last days, obviously, the draw against Bournemouth was probably the final point when they understood that they couldn't continue together, Maresca and Chelsea, and so Maresca didn't go to do his press conference after the game, and was not because he was feeling sick or he was having any personal problem, it was just because I'm told that Enzo Maresca after the game went directly to the Chelsea directors and owners and told them that he wanted to leave the club, and he was feeling that this situation was not possible to adjust or to change anytime soon, and Chelsea had the same feeling. Their feeling on Maresca was not positive at all, and that's why also they decided to come out of this agreement. So the situation was tense in the last couple of weeks, obviously also because of the results, but it's not just about the results. It's also about several things, including the strategy, including the transfers, for example. I think one crucial moment where the relationship started to break between Chelsea and Enzo Maresca was in the summer, when Levi Colwill, one of the best players at Chelsea, broke his ACL, and so for several months out, and in that moment Enzo Maresca went public and said, I need a centre-back, I want a centre-back, and Enzo Maresca had this feeling that Chelsea, to compete in several competitions at the best way possible, needed to have a new centre-back, and Chelsea as a club decided to stick with the team they had, and decided to trust a young player like Joshua Champong, and didn't want to sign any player. Chelsea were like, we decide the strategy, so it's not the manager asking for that in public. So in that moment it started to get tense, and then we arrived to this point where it's over between Enzo and Chelsea.
So you mentioned about Chelsea feeling, Maresca feelings, but also what was your feeling? Did you expect this to happen today?
Look, today, yes, in the last, I would say, 2-3 days, I expected this story to develop, and quite fast, because also yesterday my position was, don't link this tension to the next games or to the next month. It's not about to change the results in January. Something could happen in the immediate. But let me tell you that if you ask me maybe 1 month ago or 2 months ago, I had the feeling that the story between Maresca and Chelsea was going to finish probably at the end of the season. But to see this story to finish this early for a manager who did very well, and for a club who trusted the manager as well, because Chelsea decided to trust Maresca when he was Leicester City manager, was not a Champions League top competing manager. So it was really strange to see this timing, but sometimes in football I also think this, when something is not working, and that was the case on both sides, on Maresca side, on Chelsea side, that was not only in one direction. Both sides were really in a difficult position with each other. I think it's better probably to part ways and to probably move on.
So in the last hours, Manchester City was also mentioned a lot because of the contacts. So are these contacts real, or there is nothing yet?
Yeah, there have been contacts between Enzo Maresca and Manchester City, and Chelsea are aware of that, also because Chelsea are in very good relationship with the agent. The new agent of Enzo Maresca, Jorge Mendes, one of the most powerful agents in the world. So obviously the relationship is good, and Chelsea were well informed about that situation. But It doesn't mean it was this to create the real disruption between Chelsea and Maresca. What we can say about Man City is that for sure Man City like Maresca. We did a pod here on Men in Blazer explaining that a few weeks ago. They like him, they know him, he used to work in the academy, he used to work as a Pep assistant, so they really like Enzo Maresca. But Man City are very happy with Pep Guardiola, and Pep Guardiola is also very happy at Man City, fully focused on Man City. So at this stage I can guarantee that nothing is done, agreed or completed between Maresca and City. There is an appreciation, then this depends on Guardiola. If Pep Guardiola decides at the end of the season to leave Man City, for sure Enzo Maresca will be part of the conversation. But it is kind of contingency plan. It's not something already signed or agreed or decided. So let's see what's going to happen there. I maintain the appreciation from City, but again, this depends on Guardiola, and the first person to respect Guardiola till the very end is going to be Maresca, who is a big friend of Pep.
Talking about Guardiola, what's going to happen with him in the next month?
Yeah, look, also the Guardiola story is going to be one to watch. I think in this case it's completely different because the relationship between Guardiola, Ferran Soriano, Hugo Viana and all the people at Manchester City is very good in this case. So I don't expect any early surprise on this one. Also because Man City are doing fantastic in all competitions recently. So for sure Manchester City are very happy with Pep and are going to back Pep also on the market in January, Semenyo not only. So what I can tell you what's happening between Guardiola and City is that City are waiting. City are waiting for Pep to make any kind of decision later in the season, probably not now. But City have to be prepared when you are Manchester City, and especially when you have to replace one day, maybe it's not this summer, it's going to be next one or the following one, we don't know. But any moment you have to be prepared because it's not a normal manager, it's Pep Guardiola. And so obviously Man City are preparing internally for that. But at the moment, in the industry, I can tell you that there is a feeling that Pep might leave the club at the end of the season, yes. But at the moment, it's just a feeling. It's not something communicated. It's not something decided. And so let's wait and see. I think Pep is really focused on this season to try to win as many titles as possible and then decide.
Going back to Chelsea, who do you think is going to be the manager?
Good question, but as of today I maintain what I was sharing here also in our pod few weeks ago. A manager really highly rated and appreciated by Chelsea is Liam Rosenior, who's doing a very good job at Strasbourg. Last season was fantastic. This season also continuing with the project at Strasbourg, brought them to European football, but Liam Rosenior is a manager with very modern ideas, really appreciated by the players who were there at Strasbourg with him. For example, remember about Andrei Santos, who had a fantastic season at Strasbourg last year, and not only, many players developed very well under Liam Rosenior. So in this case is same ownership group, BlueCo, of course, so there would be no problem in making a fast appointment. What I can tell you is that Chelsea want to have their manager as soon as possible, few days, not weeks, not months. They don't want a caretaker manager, they want someone who can be a permanent appointment, and so this is the plan. As of today, the leading candidate is Liam Rosenior.
So touching on this point, should we rule out names such as Jose Mourinho or Zinedine Zidane, Xavi, one of these?
Yeah, today we saw several names linked with Chelsea. What I can say is that Chelsea will not go for a superstar name because Chelsea have never been about superstars on and off the pitch. Chelsea are about their project, are trusting their ideas, and so Klopp, forget about that. Zidane, forget about that. Today I saw Jose Mourinho linked, forget about that. Oliver Glasner is not leaving Palace now. He's leaving Palace at the end of the season because he's not extending the contract, but now he's not going to Chelsea. Cesc Fabregas is fully focused on Como. So all these names linked today, I'm not aware of anything concrete. Liam Rosenior is a leading candidate, he's not the only one, but for sure is the strong name in this moment.
And talking about Rosenior, what do you think can happen to Strasbourg in case they will decide to appoint him?
Yeah, look, obviously for BlueCo Group and so the owners of Chelsea and Strasbourg, it's a really important moment now, because if they decide to go all in on Liam Rosenior as new manager for Chelsea, in that case, they will make sure, for sure, to have a very good replacement at Strasbourg. They show from BlueCo about pure trust in the Strasbourg project since day one, because they brought European football to the club, several important players. Obviously, there is always a connection with Chelsea, but they are trusting that project as well as Strasbourg. And so, in case it's going to be Strasbourg looking for new manager with Liam Rosenior going to Chelsea, I'm sure it's going to be a very good solution, because they want to make sure that both projects work, not only Chelsea.
So Fabri, last question for today. This might be a record because there is already a rumor going around for Maresca to Man United. I mean, it's a long story, but let's keep it short. What do you think about this rumor about Maresca United, also linked to Amorim?
I think when there is this kind of shocking news, as today was the one for Enzo Maresca, yesterday with the breaking news, there is always plenty of stories of rumors on social media. And today, many people ask me about this Enzo Maresca link with Ruben Amorim job at Manchester United in case Amorim is sacked at some point at Manchester United. Look, at this point there are zero contacts between Manchester United and Enzo Maresca. I think this link is coming from the fact that Omar Berrada, who is now one of the most important faces at Manchester United project, used to work at Manchester City and knows very well Enzo Maresca, but at this stage, from what I'm told, the only club who had the real conversations with Maresca is Man City, is not Man United. Man United stick with Ruben Amorim, trust Ruben Amorim, then let's see what's happening in the future, but as of today, is more Man City.
Thank you, Fabri, for that. What a start of the year, and talk to you very soon here.
Thank you,
Bye.
thank you. Ciao guys, Happy New Year.